I'm Angeline.
Hi, I'm Nameera, and this is Operation Tomatometer.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 12 of Operation Tomatometer, Townsend Harris's very own film and review TV podcast.
So today we are joined by some very special guests, some seniors, so you guys take it away.
My name's Max.
I'm Finn.
I'm Shirooba.
Yeah, and so let's get on into the episode. So, if you haven't been waiting 13 years for a sequel to a movie, then you know about Avatar's newest installation, Way of the Water. Avatar, Way of the Water follows the original Avatar movie from 2009, but this time we're following the now fully fledged Sully family into their kind of escape into the water tribe at the other edge of the world, I guess. Essentially, they go through a lot of triumphs and hardships in kind of acclimating to this tribe, but also a greater threat of Quaritch is like resurrected and also now in an avatar body. He's come back to destroy Pandora and especially Jake Sully. So let's get on into the episode.
So what did you guys think about it?
I thought it wasn't nearly as good as the original one, just because the original one in 2009 was like... What was so funny about 2009? Bro, what was so funny about 2009?
I can't say here. I can't say here.
Exactly one, you know whose fault it is.
That's not my fault.
Oh my god! Alright, to start things off, I thought like, I don't know, story-wise it was a little bit underwhelming, but aesthetically I really loved it. Like, I really liked the CGI and all of that. What about you guys?
I think that, like, just to kind of bounce off of that, the CGI was done really well, and honestly, like, the whole controversy around it being made, like, 13 years later was to kind of maintain, like, a real type of feel to the movie. Mm-hmm. I think they actually did that really well, because the CGI seemed so lifelike, and I watched it in 3D, too, so it kind of just, like, popped out even more.
I respect James Cameron.
I don't.
You know, let me finish, Nameera.
Yeah.
I respect the way, like, he uses and, like, develops the CGI, like, as you said, 13 years in the making. Like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of work put into that.
But was it worth 13 years?
No, because the story sucks. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
Wait, why do you feel like the story sucks?
I mean, the story to me kind of felt like recycled the original Avatar storyline, where it's like a love interest, and then it like gets into a big fight against some evil bad guy. It's the same bad guy from the first original movie, actually, somehow resurrected into the Avatar form now, and stronger and faster. So, to me, it kind of felt like a recycled story. It was kind of like lazy writing, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, like, really, like... look, it's not boring, because, like, if you're going to have that much action in a movie with, like, that much, like, time put into the cinematography and the CGI. Like, it's not gonna be boring, but like I'm not like sitting there for something like Black Panther. Like I'm just gonna I'm sitting in my seat knowing that I'm gonna remember like the plot of that movie for like years on end. And for this, like I know I'm gonna forget it within like a couple weeks, just like I did with the first Avatar.
Like it's not like a rewatch worthy movie.
Yeah.
Get
It's
what I
also
mean?
3 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's an Endgame, like...
Right,
I'd rather watch
exactly.
Endgame.
Yeah, and like the thing about Endgame, we all remember Endgame.
Right.
Like,
But
Exactly.
it ended a saga.
Right.
Yeah.
This is just a second movie.
It's supposed to be like a starting off thing. It's like setting up the world for like the future movies, but like it's too long.
Yeah, 3 hours to
it
set
was
it
like-
up. I don't know
You
about
don't need 3 hours.
I mean, there's only a select few movies that are like 3 hours that are actually good. Like Endgame is probably the only 3-hour movie that's really good because it finishes a saga and sets up a new one. Like
Respect the Hobbit. Like, what are we doing here?
What?
Respect the Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, Loki. I've never watched The Hobbit. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll give you a pass.
I'm gonna keep it. I don't know.
You don't have 4 hours on your hands.
I do not.
No,
I'm
fair.
so sorry. I barely had 3 to watch this movie. But yeah, but like other like 3-hour movies, like the Batman movie, I think
Oh, yeah.
very mixed reviews about that one because I felt they portrayed the character of Batman really well with Robert Pattinson and like how he is instead of like just being like this guy who runs around like handing out vigilante justice and
I feel like
beating some dudes up
he
in the
was
streets.
too like. I mean, my personal critique when we reviewed that movie was like he was too angsty. I feel like we were missing like the Bruce Wayne that's like suave and like rich and like makes sense.
Yeah, but at
like,
least there's nuance to these characters. Like in this, like obviously they have like a little bit of depth to them, but like it's not to the level where you're like.
You remember the characters.
Yeah, I already said that point like 3 times.
No,
already.
I
So-
agree though. It's definitely so true. Like for each of the, I can barely remember their names.
Yeah.
They don't really have, like,
you remember them by like what they're like.
yeah, like their
Yeah.
hair. Maybe?
By their
You
shade
remember
of
by
blue.
their relation to Jake Sully.
Right. Right.
But also like the main thing, like something that I realized when I was walking out the movie theaters, like I didn't really care about the death of the oldest son because we
No,
never
neither did I.
learned anything
Right.
about the
He had no
oldest son.
development in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
He was
we
just
didn't
like-
It was just like
Personality.
Jake
They
telling
were
him to
just,
like
like-
control your brother.
Right.
control
Yeah, literally.
your mother.
Yeah. It's like they got bored like with the writing. They're like, oh, gotta kill someone. Gotta shake it up.
Throw a twist in there.
Yeah.
I wish they would have killed Took. Sorry, she was really annoying.
The little girl.
She was so okay. There was
What
this
did she do to
one.
you?
Okay, there's this one scene. They were like, I wonder if Jake Sully's there. Like they had her like captured, and she was like, Dad, and I was like, bro, why are you gonna out him like that? Like he's so for real with me right now. She was just like, she was everywhere where she wasn't supposed to be. Like, why are you like running away from like the people when you're like a
I
child?
thought it was weird that like the parents didn't really take care of the kid. Like the teenagers were expected to like babysit all the time. Like,
Yeah.
that was weird to me. I also didn't like the way how they spent like an hour and 30 minutes just explaining the kids, like and like like.
Well, the
letting
first
them, like,
hour and a half of the movie was just like setting up the like why they're leaving Pandora in the first place. Because
yeah, no, but I feel like that could have been done in like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
we can
Definitely.
get the backstory over with much quicker.
Much quicker. Like,
Yeah,
they
like-
spent so much time like in the water, like all these scenes. It's beautiful to watch.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but like it didn't
It's
need
like
to be
filler
dragged
content.
out.
Yeah. It's a
it's
great
filler
movie to
content.
fall asleep to, you know? Just like,
I wouldn't say that.
is that too much?
I mean,
feel
because
like
like it
that's
wasn't like a very like intriguing movie where like it pulls me and it's like I want to watch this movie like that.
But
Like,
at the
I'm not
same
gonna
time,
lie.
I wasn't
I was
looking
watching it
anywhere
at
else.
1:30 with the wind ripping through my roof, and then I was like, I wonder if the roof is gonna fall on me watching this movie.
Yeah,
I
like
think
I
it
was very distracted.
Yeah,
like,
that's
I wasn't,
priority
like,
A. I don't know about the
Yeah.
movie.
I don't know. I feel like since I watched it in theater, I had a completely different experience. Like I feel like it should be watched in theaters. Just as I watched the first one also in theater.
It's like
Yeah.
a
Like-
one-time in theaters type of thing. And
It's
then
like a
after
one-time
you're
in
done-
theaters.
Oh,
thing,
definitely.
for sure. But like again, like how do y'all feel about like the entire like water environment? Because like I feel like
I
we're
like
going into like a new environment, but it's sort of the same for some reason. They're still very much the outcasts of wherever they are. They're still very much trying to learn things as it is. And it's just like something I feel like it's been done, but I like the addition of having like water and kind of like
Right.
seeing a different part of the animals in the environment.
I
I
don't.
thought that was sweet. I don't know. I really like the connection between the water tribe and those. Sorry, what?
Tokun.
The Toku. I don't know. I thought that was extremely sweet and nice. I don't know. I'm a sucker for, animal.
I think it's good.
Creature
I
type
think
of-
that like especially for the youngest son's development, it was actually
Yeah.
pretty good. Like it made
Right.
sense.
Because he actually had his character developed with the whale and like, well, what is it called again?
It
Toku.
was Toku.
Toku. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just really like pissed off. Like some characters were developed a little too like crazily. Like Spider, there should be no reason why Spider
I
would go
hated
back
Spider.
and help Quaritch.
Guys, I
Yeah.
hate
He's been with him for
Spider.
like he's been with him for like what, like a couple days, and like he's like, oh, I feel obligated to like save him.
Well, because then his like father originally did save him, like instead of getting his throat slit by Jake Sully's wife.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like
that was intense.
I think he kind of like owed it to him. He kind of felt like it was a debt.
But it was like it was so there. Like it was there. Like he was underwater. He
I
would
don't
not have gone up.
know.
Yeah.
I also,
But like that over like the fact that like that person is horrible.
right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's
No.
too much stuff that Quaritch had done throughout the
Yeah.
entire movie for him to be like, oh, gotta save him
And
now.
each
Yeah.
time he's just like, no, don't do it. No, please don't torture those people.
Oh, yeah, the
No.
people who was
he's
feeling
like,
the
he's like
fire.
always on the side,
Yeah.
just like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, he was
guys,
like
it's
literally
fine."
watching them kill
Right.
the whale,
It's like a
as they're like
narrator.
doing their whole
Right,
coordinated
exactly.
attack on the whale, like bombing it, and I was
It's
like,
like,
The whale flipping over onto the ship, though, I was so
That was
happy
wild.
with that. I was like, yup, turn it
just
up.
belly flopping the ship essentially. That's what I
Yeah.
watched.
I also don't they kind of establish that, I don't know, Spider was like raised by, like
Yeah.
the Sully family. Like, why would he suddenly feel like, I
Betray
don't know.
him.
It's cause like, okay, this is something that I think was really like key
Daddy
to the
issues.
movie.
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
That too, I guess.
Townsend Harris podcast.
But after like
Philosophical.
after Nateam died, like the oldest son, like I feel like Neytiri's acting, Jake Sully's wife, like
Right.
that went to like a new level. I was like, okay, like she ate that
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
For like a movie that I can't like really tell what they're like physically like doing with their face. That scene was really good because you can tell like she went over the edge, like for sure, and that's how she got like so like blood hungry and like
Yeah,
thirsty
one
to
that,
like,
like that 5-kill spree.
yeah, literally.
It's like a UAV in Call of Duty.
And so that's why it's like it tipped her over and made her crack.
I'm sorry, the joke was right there.
I know.
Guys, it's just like a
I'm sorry.
That was just like Fortnite.
I'm sorry, the joke was there.
And then like it pushed her over the edge, and like that's why she turned. I feel like that was like really key because it only showed Spider that he will always be an outsider. And I think that's also why like he saved
Right.
Quaritch. Yeah.
Hot
but-
take. I think this should have been a show, not a movie.
Oh, honestly.
What? Really? I don't know how I feel about that.
No,
Like-
I know what you mean because they had 3 hours because they wanted us to explore
could've
the
easily been a
world,
show.
like
If you
wow.
really wanted to give that much depth and like that much like depth and like build a universe like that, you could have done a show.
Like,
Very
that backstory could have been like a season or two.
Right,
I-
not a season.
Not a season, but like 2
That back
episodes.
show-
You want to watch
story
that
could be like-
season?
Huh? No.
You want
I
to
would
watch
not.
that season?
I don't think that it would ever be a show, like, ever, just because of, think of the caliber.
Really?
No.
Because it's not a money grab, that's why.
Avatar 1 is the highest grossing film of all time.
It's $2 billion.
It's just beat everything. And so they're gonna use that. They're gonna use, like, the nostalgia factor. They're gonna use, like, fan servicing to just bring that back. And that can only be done through a movie and not a show, because a show is too accessible.
Also a show, not everyone has access to all these streaming services. Like, a movie, you can just walk in there, pay, like, $10
but also
for
a movie,
ticket.
like, it's just, like, more, like, you'll remember movies, you don't remember shows as much as movies, I would say.
Debatable.
Like,
Debatable.
when people think of, like, oh my god, I want to go into, like, film or something, they don't think about going to film for TV. Usually they go into film for, like, making movies.
As someone that does not want to go into film, I remember TV shows, like, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some TV shows that I absolutely love.
Like?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was really good.
Moon Knight's a good TV show. Loki was
Loki was okay.
Loki was really good for, like, its backstory in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, see how it set it up? Like,
that's why the entire thing was there, the show. It's to set up, like, Loki's story and then, like, another,
exactly. I feel like they're setting it up for the
like
next
a
movie.
show in the middle and then another movie just, I don't know.
Because it's like,
I think James Cameron's also.
They're repeating a whole villain, so, like, what's the point? Like,
Right.
it's
No,
literally,
but
it's
But that's
show
the thing,
material.
like, okay, no, but, like, repeating a villain, like, just to, like, point out, like, the main thing that came to my mind is, like, The Matrix. Like, that one, they had the same villain back every single movie, and low-key, it was good until the newest one, but, like, it made sense, and it was, like, iconic. I guess they're trying to make that, like, iconic thing happen.
But he's not, like, notable.
Yeah.
He's not, like, he's just a guy who is evil. I don't know if that makes sense.
He's
but
driven.
Like,
he's
but
like
what's
the
his
Wicked Witch of the
drive?
West.
Like, what? Does he have any, like, what? Like, the whole thing for humans is like, oh, Earth is becoming uninhabitable, so we have to, you know, take over this other planet. But it's like, I don't know, that's not a good enough reason to justify.
Maybe there's a more societal reason.
well, didn't
for
Jake
him.
Sully kill him?
Well, we can explore that throughout a whole episode or a
guess.
couple episodes.
Yeah,
or
because, like,
season.
didn't Jake Sully kill him in
Yeah,
the
but,
original
like,
movie?
even in
Like,
the
he
beginning,
kills him,
it's
and then
not-
he's like, oh, he wants his get back, essentially.
But also, isn't that so, like, contradictory to, like, everything that they stand for? That they put back Quaritch into an avatar's body? Like, I thought that was so, like,
They hated
glossed
him.
over.
Well, they hated him. They hated the avatars. That's why, like,
But
they
why,
kinda...
like,
why-
making
like,
yourself
you're, like-
one, wouldn't you want,
yeah.
like...
Well, because they saw that the avatars have these these physical benefits. Like,
I feel
they're
like that was so glossed
stronger.
over, though.
They like
Everything
they're more
is
adapted
But
to
he
the
would
environment.
want to
Yeah.
kill him as a human. I feel like,
Yeah.
of course, wouldn't want to kill him as an avatar.
I don't know.
Yeah, but then also, like, he wasn't, like, given the choice because he was, like, thrown into, like, this
Right.
covert operation mission as an avatar and was like, yeah, you're gonna do this now. Yeah, but we see even when he wakes up, he starts, like, punching the people that are, like, trying to hold him down and stuff, and he's like, why am I blue? It's a little confused.
Right.
Why are they?
That is a great question.
Well, some of them are, like, tealish.
Yeah.
Yes, those are the C ones.
Let's see ones.
Are there air ones?
Probably.
I actually think there
sky
will
people.
be. I mean, like, I know there might be, like, fire people probably.
Oh
Like,
my god.
volcanoes and stuff.
Oh, that's gonna be the next one.
Airbender.
Oh my god, that's what I was gonna say.
I
And there's
swear,
gonna
I
be
think I
like,
read it.
4 elements lived in harmony.
Okay, in terms of acting, I thought it was terrible. Respectfully, no. It was also
I think
terrible.
certain characters.
I think that the acting was, like, kind of atrocious.
On
Partly,
whose part, though?
honestly, on James
kids.
Cameron. Like characters, yes,
Like,
the
like
kids.
physical characters. Whose character was, like, horrible?
The kids.
no.
Spider.
I think the kids were bad.
I
Like
hated
character
Spider.
development or
Spider's,
acting?
like,
Well,
that
wait,
was-
acting
was
for the
so-
character.
I think Spider.
Acting for the character.
Spider 100%, and you can see his face too,
Right.
and it did not help. Like, be so for real.
I hated him.
Best acting though, Neytiri by far.
Neytiri, yes, very
Her
much.
emotions
She
were on
was
her
awesome.
face.
Yeah.
That was good. Jake
Also,
Sully was
Jake
okay.
Sully's just consistent. He's
Yeah.
consistently, like, the leader, the
Yeah.
cool, calm,
But-
collected
I
He
didn't
did
like
make me
how he
cringe.
stepped into like the whole like
savior
typical,
role.
Not savior, but it's like the typical dad, like like bossing everyone around, and like the typical dad to a like boy, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was like, oh, like look out for your brother. He's like passing all these. He's like a military like.
Well, because
Oh.
he is a military
Yeah,
general.
he's a
he
Navy
comes from a military
SEAL.
background. He's like a Marine.
Oh, he's a Marine. Sorry.
He's a Marine, yeah.
But
yeah.
that's, I don't know.
He has that
I
training
don't
like
know.
ingrained in him.
I didn't like the dynamic between him and his kids.
No, it was definitely like a little strained. I'm not
It
gonna
was
lie.
shame. It was like his kids aren't like.
They're not soldiers.
Yeah, they're not
I
soldiers.
barely saw any like familial like affection.
Like affection.
Yeah, like did he even hug him ever?
He probably did. But it's
That's
Well,
such a, like a jarring question.
Like-
Hug him.
there was no thing where he's like, "Oh, kids, I love you, have fun," or like he was just
always like,
"Watch your brother."
But I guess that
what are you doing?
There's like no affection.
But
in
I think that
everyone.
speaks to his character, right? Because he's very like anxious and like because of the
I mean, his whole thing is like running away. And, like,
right.
I didn't want to see his kids, to be honest. I wanted a movie about him.
What?
Yeah, me too.
Solo movie?
I kind of didn't want the kids. I wanted him and Neytiri to be a thing. Like, and then we just go explore that more.
That
Maybe having the kids when they're like younger, but like they're like full blown characters, and I'm afraid like. What's gonna happen maybe down the line, I don't know, third, fourth movie, he's gonna die and it's gonna be about his kids avenging him or something.
I thought that he was gonna die, I'm not gonna lie. Like at the beginning of the movie, I was like
I thought he was gonna die when he was like approaching the ship.
Right.
By himself, and they were gonna just blast him with a cannon.
I thought that's out, because
the Australian dude?
Yeah, the guy with like the explosive harpoon.
He was too
No,
much.
the explosive harpoon guy.
The Australian
Considering
dude.
how you know all these weapons.
What do you
It's
mean?
very simple weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
True, what are you trying to apply there?
not like a railgun.
But anyways, I thought that they were setting up like the children with too much personality,
Exactly.
too much character. Like obviously, I feel like he's dying.
I think it's a very superficial character, not even like too much.
They're flat characters, but they're still given characters, and I just think that they're setting up for like Jake Sullivan.
I'm excited about Grace, like not Grace, but her daughter,
Really?
Kiri.
Whose story?
Kiri.
The waterbender.
Aha. Aha.
Yeah,
See,
I'm excited
no
about her
names.
because like her whole seizure thing, like there's something deeper with that, and I'm interested.
I think the movie is supposed to be like an example of like what biology could have looked like, basically.
You said what? Now?
What?
Biology.
No,
Scrap that whole idea. What did you just say?
No, yeah, like be for real. Like it's like how like evolution. Like what if it took a wrong turn? Like it could happen.
Yo.
I don't know if that's what the movie.
Evolution.
I don't know what that was.
It's like an
There's just, like-
imagery of it.
I took more of like James Cameron trying to do like a lot of like environmental activism stuff with the movie.
That's
like,
the message.
yeah, and like I don't think like this kind of movie is the time and place to like get into all like the environmental activism stuff, because like with this kind of like action movie, you're not supposed to like have a bigger message like necessarily until you get to like to the end and like all the, like the conflict gets resolved and all that. Like take for example like the Lorax, right? Like you get the message like the entire time because the characters are simple. You have a fictional like universe, although Pandora is obviously fictional too, but like it's just so much like an easier thing to wrap your head around. And like you get the message from beginning to end, and you still get the story, and there's not like a ton of stuff, there's not like a ton of nuance that you need to like comprehend throughout the entire thing. Whereas this, it's just like you have the story, and then you can see bits and pieces of like this environmental activism coming in, like, but just like it's not like as seamless as like a movie whereas like the story could be like more simple, and this is 3 hours not simple at all.
Yeah.
Like there's too much going on for that kind of
It's
stuff.
very James Cameron in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
what
from
other
Titanic
movies?
to this.
Oh.
He did Titanic, yeah. He got some big shit under his belt.
Yeah.
But I think like in general, like this movie wasn't like supposed to be anything else but a setup for the rest of it, because they released what's gonna be like 5 movies now before
but
they
We
even
don't need all
like.
that. Like
I'm excited for that. They're kind of
What?
coming out 2 at a time.
No, not
2
really.
years. 2 years is not
I think
long.
it'll
I
be
mean,
interesting.
they're like following kind of like what I see it as. It's like a Transformers plot where they just bring back the same big villain over and over again with like Megatron. They just keep bringing this dude back in some unknown way, and Optimus Prime has to kill him again, and he
I
just
think
comes
Spider
back.
will also become a villain, though. I'm not gonna
I
hold
think so
you.
too.
100%.
I think so too. Definitely.
I could
He's gonna
see
fill
it
his dad's shoes.
because I wouldn't say fill his dad's shoes. I would say like
build on it.
take influence from what his dad is.
From his dad's
doing.
shoes.
No.
The
No.
daddy issues are crazy though. Like think about
my.
it. Like he's abandoned and he doesn't feel like he's the rest of like his adopted family. Like that's a villain right there.
I
That's
just
literally a
don't-
villain.
I just hate his character so bad. It's so finicky.
Yeah.
Finicky. Thanks, guys. Alright, do we want to give our scores? Want to give our scores?
Let's give our scores. I'm not gonna go first.
Finn.
50.
50.
Wow.
Whoa.
50.
Flat out 50.
Yeah.
50.
I hate the story, love the cinematography.
Right.
Okay.
I would say probably. I'm gonna be a little more generous with it. I'd say like a 65.
I'd say about like maybe 72.
That's
Okay.
a little high.
I'll go 65.
Really?
I'm gonna go with 81.
That's a little high.
Oh, because you watched it in 3D in theaters. I feel like that.
That would have propped me up to like a 60 probably.
Yeah. That would have.
If it was 4D,
Yeah, give me the harpoon in 3D. I'm all
give me
in.
the
And
4K.
actually,
Give me the harpoon's like actually hitting me.
The
Like,
Yeah.
water bending thing and like
Oh,
that end
yeah,
looked
yeah.
really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an
3D?
IMAX production of this.
Okay,
and
I'll
I'm
put it to
pulling all
70.
this
Yeah, I
up.
saw this on like my little phone. So.
Yeah.
So.
So what's that? Let's be in the middle, guys. Let's try to figure this out.
Like an
An
average.
overall rating?
Overall.
We agree on like a 70.
I'd say 70.
75.
70, 65.
No, shut up.
75
70.
too high.
Just 70.
74.
70 flat.
70 flat? No
70
way.
flat.
72.
72.
72.
71.
70.
72.
72. I
Okay.
think that's our official score.
Official score.
Sure.
Thank you for watching,
was
and
a
I
rough
think that about
movie.
wraps up today's episode.
Stay tuned for more Thomas-tastic content and keep on following and watching at THHS Classic, and be sure to review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Happy Hanukkah.